everybody, I'm Robert Eaton, and this is the first Evostatus video blog update for the centerofthenet.com. Let me tell you what's happening right now, and then after I tell you what's happening right now, I'm going to tell you about where we're going and what hopefully will happen soon. I'm going to try to keep this video to 10 minutes, so it will be very quick, and I hope you could follow. First note is switching over to video because I have no time to write a satisfactory text blog. Hopefully the video will be faster, but at the same time I know that using video may make it more difficult to understand than if I wrote everything out. Sorry about that. Currently, right now, I'm trying to implement a voting system for the news content, and I am using the business news section is a testing area. I'm using those feeds right there. And I was looking at two different voting systems for Drupal. The first system is Drigg, and the second system was the 5-star voting system. Both have their advantages and their disadvantages. Originally I thought that I'd like to use Drigg. Drigg has a very nice, well, it advertises itself as being very easy to theme, very easy to change its design and its CSS and everything. I thought it looks very good. It's got a Drigg template looking type structure, and the teasers are very tight, and the information looks very tight and clean. But unfortunately, you know, I am using a what's called a composite layout system versus the panel system, because the panel system was not available for Drupal 6, and the composite node is, and it looks like the composite node section is working okay to me. But it looks like when you install Drigg that it affects the URL and the layouts of the clean URLs. So it affects the URL design, and I'm afraid that might make some problems. And it doesn't seem to me that Drigg is as customizable as 5-star and is views friendly. If you don't understand what I'm saying, this is all back office stuff. Just go with me a little bit. I'll try to make it an easy layman's term later on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Drigg can do that, but after looking at it and getting ready to implement it, it appears that it can't. Versus the 5-star. The 5-star does not advertise itself as offering anywhere near the templating advanced features of Drigg. However, the 5-star system looks to be very powerfully configurable. It looks like it works very well with views. It's been in use now for a couple years. A couple famous Drupal developers worked on it. By coincidence, one of the developers has my last name. We share names. I know that's not much to go on, but anyways, it looks very customizable. It looks like it works good with views. Downside is doesn't look that pretty, but the great upside is it's got great community support. A lot of people are working on different projects with it, and I may need their help. I'm quite sure of it. But obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, I am installing the 5-star system. I'm seeing what its limitations are and testing it, seeing how well I could implement it. After I get that done, I will try to install Drigg just so I could see what its limitations are too, to make sure that my limitations are not its limitations. And I have to try to find a measure between the time that I have to dedicate to the development of the project versus the time needed till I understand how to get the added functionality of those modules. I'm not trying to say anything bad about Drigg. It might be very well be just as powerful as 5-star, but at this time 5-star looks like the one I'm going to be going with. But I will test them out both. It's all a matter of time, to tell you the truth. I love doing the development. but I have 2 children I have to feed, so I have to try to balance the time out. Now one of the things that we need to talk about here is something that I like to get done. In the future, there's going to be a user point system site-wide, and I would like to have the points based, not to create a popularity system, but I like to have the points based on contents, on maybe voting on comments and value those comments and stuff like that, because every human, it seems, in these social networking sites needs this point reward system. But I hope that we reward it for information and promote evolution rather than some kind of popularity contest. And that being said, Drigg does come integrated with what's called a karma point assigning system, a karma user point system, and karma looks to be very nice because it distributes itself nicely, and it collects points from all over the site, and the points degrade over time, and it's people share karma. If you'd like to, you could read up on the karma point system, which is different than the more linear user point system that appears to be with 5-star. So I'm going to have to look at the long-term implementation of the scalability of using these 2-point systems. You know, I don't want to go with the voting system for content and then find out I have to totally change it to get it to get it to match the user point system. Okay, so that's where we're at right now, trying to choose the right voting system and trying to understand them both to get them implemented. The second thing that we're working on, that I'm working on very hard, is the news aggregation system. I looked at simplefeed using the simplefeed parser, and I've been looking at feedapi module using that, and using the PHP 5 parser, and I was very, very confused which parser to use. It seems they both have their strengths. It seems the PHP 5 is much faster. However, the simplefeed allows containers and looks like it's better for doing video RSS stuff. And I've tried to do research on them both. It looks like I'm leaning towards the simplefeed. I'm sorry, not the simplefeed, but the simplefeed parser included in the feedapi. I looked at feedapi module versus simplefeed module, and it looks as to me simplefeed module is nice, but it doesn't allow the customization that the more powerful feedapi has. So I'm going with feedapi right now in Drupal versus simplefeed. And the problem right now with my feedapi is I'm using a poor man's automatic cron system and to update the feeds, and I'm going to have to stop using that. It's incompatible. I have to get my host to run some cron for me. But related to that, the feeds being updated right now are updating themselves into the comments of the feed categories I've created. For instance, the African Ethiopian Google News feed is not creating a new feed for the news story. It's adding the news story to an old story's comment section. So I'm trying to fix that bug right now and find out where that bug came from. And as soon as I fix that bug, we've only got a minute left here. I'm probably going to break this video into 2. As soon as I find out why that's happening, it will be great. As soon as I fix that bug, it will really, really be great. I understand that the layout and the design of the whole site is looking really, really dirty and really nasty. That's because I'm not doing anything with CSS or any kind of layout design right now. This is not a matter of simple CSS. The dynamic content created with the Drupal system is very difficult first to actually alter the layout and the design. So when I work on the CSS and stuff, that's going to take a lot of time. Right now I'm trying to really create the function and find the limits of the functionality. Okay, we're going to break right now.